Hey everybody, I have a real brief lecture here on the beginning of the French Revolution and kind of how it gets started. So, essential questions for today, things that we are going to focus on is explain how the Estates General, storming the Bastille, Great Fear, and the National Assembly fit into the French Revolution. Also, we're going to discuss the significance of the Declaration of the Rights of Man and the Citizen, identify Enlightenment beliefs in that document, and then compare it to the Bill of Rights. So that is the agenda for this lesson. So let's kind of get started at the kind of root problem of the French Revolution, kind of the thing that sets them off. Okay, as we alluded to in the previous lecture, France is having some significant money problems. Okay, and when a government needs more money, what do? They need to tax people. Okay. Now, I think most of us would say, after listening to the last lecture, that clearly the estates that really should have picked up the tab to help the government out would have been the first and second estate, because they paid essentially 0% of the taxes in France. Okay. So anyways, what happens is the King Louis XVI, calls a meeting of the estates. And when the estates meet, that is called the Estates General. All right. Now, when the estates meet, each estate gets one vote. All right. So one vote per estate. Now, if you think about it, if each estate has one vote, what is going to happen? Who do you think they are going to make pay the majority of these taxes? And the answer is the third estate. What we see happening in this Estates General is that the first and second estate basically say the third estate should pay more in taxes. Okay? Now, obviously that is incredibly unjust, and as a result, the third estate basically says, we're not going to take this, and there is basically the beginnings of a revolution. And the French Revolution has a lot of kind of moving parts to it. It's very complex, and we could spend all semester kind of studying the events. So we're just going to try to get a real basic idea of what exactly happens here. Okay, so what happens is the Estates General, the third estate, realizes that they're getting the shaft. Okay, and they are not happy about it. So what the Estates General says is that they are going to create essentially their own Congress, and so they create what is known as the National Assembly. Okay, and this National Assembly is basically tasked with fixing the problem. Okay. And so this National Assembly, they make what is known as the tennis court oath. They're on this tennis court, and they basically make a pledge to each other that they will write a new constitution. Okay, a new spanking constitution. Okay, and in that constitution, there will be protections and rights for all people in France, and that will be known as the Declaration of the Rights of Man and the Citizen. And you guys will read this document in class. Okay. So anyways, what happens is that Louis starts to get a little freaked out when he sees that the third estate is basically openly rebelling and not really obeying what he wants them to do. And so Louis makes the mistake of calling in troops to protect essentially his rule, okay, to protect the monarchy. Now, when that happens, all these rumors start flying, people start to panic, people think that the king is bringing in troops to crush the rebellion, to crush the revolt, and basically this great fear sweeps through the city of Paris, okay? And what we see happening is that mobs start to form, and they basically start to arm themselves, and they actually storm a military base called the Bastille. Now, if any of you guys have actually paid attention, you might know that there's actually a Storming the Bastille Days in Milwaukee every summer. And so this French mob storms the Bastille, they kill the soldiers inside, and they take the weapons. And basically this is kind of the beginning of what will become a very violent revolution in France. Okay, the third estate arms themselves, and they are going to get what they need essentially through violence now. Okay, this National Assembly continues to become kind of, I guess, the de facto government of France. Sorry about that. And they continue to, to make these reforms. Okay, So the National Assembly, some of the things that they do is they write what is basically a kind of a combination of the Declaration of Independence and kind of a Bill of Rights, and it is known as the Declaration of the Rights of Man and the Citizen. Okay, so that is a pretty big deal. Within this new, I guess we can call it Constitution, privileges are stripped from the First and Second Estates. The church basically has all their land taken from them, and it is sold off, and it is basically used to pay off the debt. They also include voting rights, or extend voting rights to all 25-year-old males. And so now if you are a male and 25 years or older, you now have the right to vote. So these are the very early stages of the French Revolution.